Hello, everyone. I'm actually trying to keep up with my consistent upload schedules, but I've honestly been grinding the new Pokemon game that came out. So I honestly forgot about doing YouTube already. I know we're already up to a pretty bad start, but we're back on it. We're back on it. But I'm here now, and that's all that really matters, in my opinion, at least. But in today's video, I wanted to take a deeper dive into all my phases of my art journey. I made a very similar video to this in the past. However, it was just kind of me talking about each phase very briefly, and in this video, I kind of want to go over everything in a full dive, show actual artwork from each phase. And I think it'll be nice to look back on this in the future and kind of add on to it every couple of years to see how my art journey has progressed even further and, see how it change as an artist and such. And the video that I made before, you should probably, if you could check that one out, but this is going to be like a upgraded version of that video. So without further ado, let's just get started on my very first art phase. All right. So this first phase was around 5th, 6th grade, the honest very start of my art journey. I mean, obviously as a kid, I drew with crayons and shit, but that doesn't count to me. This is when I first started drawing on my own, and was like, hey, this is kind of fun. It started with Amino, that godforsaken app that I hope no one in this world uses anymore. I started drawing my original characters from Steven Universe. Believe it or not. It was honestly just a creative thing for me. I didn't even know what the term OC was back then. I just kind of wanted to draw my own characters in the style of Steven Universe. And as a kid, I didn't even really care for Steven Universe that much. I just joined the Amino and everyone had their own. And I was like, dude, I want my own too. This shit's cool as hell. And I think creating my own characters consistently helped build my creativity over time. I just used very bold colors, different types of styles for each character. And they weren't good, obviously, but I liked giving each character their own weapon type, their own gem placement, their own color scheme, their own color palette, I should say, actually. I made multiple of them. I think I can only find pictures of a couple. No, I think I can probably find pictures of them all. If they're on screen now. If I couldn't find them all, you'll get a couple of them. But I really do think it helped develop my creativity as an artist, and I had fun doing it. So that's why I was like, I want to keep doing this. The thing is, with this one, I had my own freedom to do whatever I wanted. I was drawing whatever I wanted. I wasn't drawing characters from the show ever, really. I mainly just kind of drew free-handed, whatever came to my mind first, and I had fun. I experimented with all sorts of colors and shit, and I think doing that really helped me become an artist. If I started doing I think anything else, me personally, I think I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. And as an artist, I believe that the first step you take when you start your art journey is what can determine if you're going to stick out with art or not. Like, if you are doing art and you already don't like it day one, you're probably going to associate art with, this sucks. But if you have a good experience, you're going to go, all right, this is pretty fun. I'm going to keep going at it. So I think this first phase, pretty good, pretty lackluster, but, pretty good. Let's move on to phase 2 already. Let's get out of here, bro.
All right. So this phase is 7th grade. And it's a phase where I stopped drawing for basically that entire year, that entire period. And the reason was I just kind of thought that I was garbage. I don't know. I had this really weird revolution where I was scrolling YouTube and I would see all these really good artists and I was like, damn, I'm never going to get like that. And this was 7th grade. I didn't obviously think I was garbage, but I just thought that this isn't for me. I don't think I have the skill or patience needed to do this, something like that. I thought I'd never really grow out. And honestly, drawing consecutively for all those years prior, I burnt myself out, I think. And honestly, that's kind of pathetic considering I only drew for a couple years. But I drew every day and I filled sketchbooks up to the brim with garbage. But yeah, this was my quote unquote giving up phase because I just didn't feel like drawing. Some days I would just get up and just kind of forget that I drew in the first place. But that's honestly just where this phase ends. Alright, phase 3. Picking back up drawing. After I gave up, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick up a sketchbook and start drawing. And it started in I think it was 8th grade. Yes, it was 8th grade because it happened right before the COVID shutdown. I picked up a sketchbook and I just started drawing. And I was like, okay, this is fun again. And I felt like I was better. I was way better at anatomy and faces and everything. And I don't know what happened in the period where I just stopped drawing to now, but I feel like my art was like 10 times better. So I actually felt really motivated to keep going. And this phase, I pretty much just copied drawings, not like traced them. I just saw an image, drew it on my piece of paper. And I stopped doing OC art. I just kind of drew characters that I liked. I didn't do any OC work. I didn't make any original characters myself. I just drew characters from games, shows, stuff like that. And I drew some very questionable things. I drew some very weird art that I would rather never draw again. It was very vital to my art career because it helped me develop a certain kind of anatomy that I don't think I would have had if I didn't draw those certain questionable things. You can take a guess at what those questionable things were, but I'm not going to go into that today, or probably ever. And I really couldn't draw certain body types for the life of me, dude. Like it's harder for me to draw muscular body types. I tried to draw like really big buff people, and I couldn't figure out how to draw it properly. Because when I learned how to draw, I learned through like circles. So I would draw like a circle for the head, a circle for the torso, a circle for the waist, circle for the legs, and then I would kind of just use those as guides. And I was like, okay, this is like a really smooth, more curvy human being instead of a fucking sharp lines of anatomy like muscular people should be. And I've gotten better at it. I just don't have the really care to draw muscular people anymore. And all my drawings, as you can see, I mainly draw like curvier people. And yeah, and I was having a lot of fun doing this, and it really did improve my anatomy and my creativity and my drive to keep going. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna keep improving. And since I was a kid, that feeling of improvement made me want to keep going. I feel like if I got this any later, I would have never picked up art. Like that feeling as a kid, it's linked to just feeling good drawing, and drawing characters that I like motivated me more because I was like, okay, I love this character, I'm gonna draw them now, and then boom, I draw them and it would look cool. I'd be like, I just drew a character that I love, and it was like, yeah, that's sick. I drew things my friends told me to draw, and they'd be like, oh, this is so cool. I would get motivation from others. I have a video about that either. Having support is very helpful. So I have a video about that as well. But, having those friends tell me that my art isn't garbage was nice. And having people look at my art is nice. Because beforehand, no one ever looked at my art because I never showed anyone my art. But this time, I'm drawing at school with my friends around, and then, saw some cool things. But yeah, that's honestly where this kick started back up. And that's where this phase pretty much ends. All right, phase number 4. This was around 10th grade. I spent the first 2 years in the previous phase, drawing traditionally. And after a while, I hated having no color options. I tried to use markers, colored pencils, crayons, all the stuff that you would think about using the color, and I just couldn't get the colors that I wanted. If I wanted to draw skin, you have, your lights, your darks, your browns, your beige, your whatever you use for skin colors, and it would look all right. And it's because of personally, when I colored, I wouldn't color properly, and there would be a lot of gaps in the color, and I wouldn't buy like these super expensive. I would not buy these super expensive art materials. So like my colors looked very bad. My alarm is going off. I'm not even gonna restart the fucking recording. I'm just gonna pretend that never happened. But yeah, I wouldn't draw these like super crazy pieces that needed color, and I felt whenever I colored a piece it would look worse, and I didn't like that because I wanted to try to use color. So I decided one day I'm gonna switch and try digital art because it has a color wheel, and I just for some reason thought that was the coolest shit in the world. I was like, okay, I could just pick a color and I don't have to care about like buying the specific color pack from Amazon that has a specific colored pencil color that I need. I could just go on a color wheel. That's so cool. I thought that was the sickest shit. So I swapped to digital art, and that's when I found out that I love digital art just as much as I love traditional, if not even a little bit more. And I was still drawing just characters. I didn't draw OCs until a little bit after. We'll go into that probably in the next phase. I don't want to spoil it, guys. But yeah, I would just draw characters again, and it was still really fun. But the thing was, I found that digital art was a lot harder to adjust to, and when I drew characters, I couldn't make them look right, and that was honestly a little bit demotivating. So it was just a hard transition. But I felt like if I developed the skill, I would improve long term. And I just loved how like vibrant and loud I could make digital art look. I'm not saying traditional can't, but my traditional art couldn't, because at the time I thought that investing in higher quality color materials just wasn't worth it, because I obviously was a kid, didn't have that kind of money. But now, as I do traditional art, obviously I do add color in my traditional art now, because I do feel I have the tools needed now, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I just loved how vibrant at the time I could make it look, and it got me into digital art, because I also had friends who did digital art, and it was nice to see their artwork, and then my artwork could be like, dang, my shit's ass compared to it, but I'm still gonna keep going at it. But yeah, again, the only issue was that drawing characters was hard, but you know, that's where this next phase comes in. All right, so this phase was around 11th grade, and it was me developing my own style. As time progressed, I started to dislike drawing characters, like known characters from shows, animes, manga, stuff like that. And I felt like it was holding me back from improving, and it demotivated me, because I often couldn't get the characters to look exactly how I wanted them to look, you know, accurately to how they looked in the show. So I started drawing OCs, quote unquote. They had no story, no name, no nothing like that. They were just characters I would draw that come up at the top of my head, and I wouldn't draw the same character twice. Sure, they would look similar, but I wouldn't draw the same character twice, because it was just a spur of the moment per drawing OC. And another thing that helped me develop my style was I found out that color was just something I wasn't a fan of completely. Of course, my first thing when I first started drawing on digital art was, I got a color wheel, it's so cool. But I really liked monotone colors from my art, because I wanted my art to feel like me. I wanted people to look at my art and go, yeah, this is Zay's art. I wanted it to fit my style, my aesthetic, who I was. So I started adapting this more monotone style with more wild, creepier art direction. And I felt like that suited what I wanted to convey as an artist more. I wanted my art to feel a certain way, and I wanted that feeling to be kind of like darker, monotone, you know? And this is around the time when I also started YouTube. I wanted to try to connect with other artists, and I also wanted to think about my future as an artist. And I thought it'd be cool to make a living off of my art. So I thought, like, oh, I could be commissioned, I could be YouTube. That's a dream now, though. Didn't seem very realistic in this day and age. But anyways, yeah, this phase was just me developing my own style, pretty much. All right, phase 12, or what? Phase 6, 12th grade. It was what I would call my experimental phase. This is again after I developed my own style, but I wanted to try something new, because again, I was thinking about my future as an artist. And in this year, I was a senior, so I had a lot of art classes, because I was able to pick some more, like, you know, for fun classes. So I just wanted to pick a lot of art classes and try different things. And in those art classes, I tried to do charcoal, which I did enjoy a lot, and I still kind of do to this day. Wood burning, which again I still do. Painting and tattooing. And another one I did was, I also wanted to be a concept artist, but that was only a little bit. I didn't really study that one for too long. But this is when I tried so many different things. Wood burning and painting were the main things I tried in 12th grade, and I really clicked with wood burning a lot. And I developed my own wood burning style as well, to where I added charcoal to the wood burn. I haven't wood burned in a while, because my wood burn is complete dog shit, but that's besides the point. As time progressed, I had all my options laid out of what art concept I wanted to pursue the most, and tattooing honestly was my best option to me personally. I enjoyed it, but I really wasn't sure if I had the confidence to put something of mine, like my work, on someone else's body forever. But as I progressed, I started making my own stencils, you know, tattoo and learning shading and stuff. I'm not the best. Still, obviously, I haven't even, you know, really worked with anyone yet. But that's the path that I decided to take. But this whole phase was just me experimenting with this. I went back to strictly traditional art for a little bit. I went to painting for a little bit. I just went to everything for a little bit. So this phase was just me kind of figuring out what I wanted to pursue in the future. All right. So this was the final phase. After so much trial and error, picking things up, dropping them, picking things back up again, and figuring out what I wanted to really do, almost giving up as art as a whole, and, figuring out if I wanted to be an artist at all. Post-graduation, I found that I really wanted to do tattooing, and I also just like to do traditional art for fun, because I didn't want to just go all in on tattooing and then drop all the other things of art that I love. So I decided, okay, I'm going to put my all into tattooing, but when I have some downtime, some free time, some things I don't want to do, I'll do the other ones, kind of like how I'm doing with YouTube. My main thing is tattooing, but I'm also still doing YouTube, and I use that time for YouTube to develop my other art skills, which is why in the background I'm doing digital art, and that's honestly the only time that I really do digital art. I don't really do it on my own free time unless it's for YouTube, because that's a good time to do it. It's not like I'm using YouTube to do it. I'm still doing it, and I'm also using it for YouTube, if that makes sense. Tattooing to me has become extremely fun. I've been practicing for a long time now. I've got a tattoo on myself, and my portfolio is almost halfway completed. I enjoy it a lot, and I want to take it all the way. I don't want to go all in and take it away, because I almost did that. I almost said, I don't want to be a tattoo artist anymore. I'm done. After putting in all this effort, I said, no, I'm going to stick with this, and I'm going to keep going. Obviously, I still love doing other art media, so I'm not giving up on those, but those are mainly for fun now. And I will enjoy creating art, and I will continue to enjoy creating art until I feel satisfied with my art and eventually move on, if that ever happens. I just really do wonder how different things would have been if I gave it back in middle school like I said I was going to.